Okay, we are back in the grand finale of Octopath Traveler 2. So I'm taking the usual suspects out. I could bring Hikari in place of Oshette. I probably should actually just... She doesn't need to be a cleric anymore, so 1 second, let me actually tweak her a bit. We have the merchant job, satisfy. We have a double scholar actually in the party. Could make her an arcanist. Either warrior or thief would be the way to go. I'm gonna go warrior here. I may not actually have enough gear. I didn't bother unequipping the other guys. Well, I have the battle-tested spear from something. Sky Piercer. That sounds fun. So in the last video we took on the super boss, just to show you. As a result, there's no more random encounters. We need to go south. So it's actually kind of refreshing to walk around here without getting hit with a fight every 5 steps. And since this is the final video, I will be going over some of my thoughts of the game. I'm overall kind of disappointed. It's... like, the single best change they made was speeding up the battle system, in my opinion. For rebalancing the jobs, they sucked at doing it. The jobs themselves need to be heavily reworked. Basically, you need reliable ways to deal multi-hits of certain types of weapons, certain types of elements. You need AoE moves, like, there's just no... how do you even put it? They need to ditch the whole gimmick with the theme of 8, because every job, there's 8 jobs that have 8 skills, the 8th one being the Divine. And yeah, like the random turn order, that's the worst part of the entire damn thing. I'll go into more detail later where I'm just going to sit there and tear into the narrative, so stay tuned. Journey for the Dawn draws near. If you proceed, the actions you take will be limited for a while. Any tales you wish to experience are best completed before you journey for the Dawn, but the choice is yours. You can still save your progress after this point, but saving in a different slot is recommended. By the way, I'm a little under-leveled for where I'm at.
The fire won't catch.
I should be strong enough for the final boss, but since we did the super boss, we probably should be like 10 levels higher for a lot of the guys. But luckily the main party is in a good position, so I think they'll suffice.
Let's give it another go, Agnia. Every failure brings us one step closer to success, eh?
Right. We just have to keep trying.
We've brought firewood, you two.
Thank you so much, Cassidy.
Be careful. A fire's not worth getting wounded over.
If it's flames you want, I can do it.
Not so fast, partner. How else are we gonna work up a sweat?
Stand by the flame.
If you insist on being so inefficient.
We're back. We didn't find any beasts lurking about.
But we did find this water. Goodness, physical labor has never really agreed with me.
Did they not see the dock to the left? Like, seriously? Just look to the left. You could have picked up the water there. Seriously.
There's nothing like a good meal after a hard day's work, Temenos.
Speaking of which, I wonder how the hunters are faring.
Heave! Heave! Ta-da! It's not a feast without a main course.
A feast? This is enough meat for a butcher shop.
I didn't think hunting would be so much fun.
You've got not the stuff that great hunters are made of, Throne.
Ochette would know.
Oh, are you retiring from the cleaning business, Throne?
Quiet, detective. Well then, I believe that's most everything. All that remains is...
Everyone's counting on us to light up their evening. It's time to get serious, Particio.
Right you are, Agnia.
Come on, Fire. You can do it.
We'll show this pile of sticks who's boss. There we go.
This will be a night to remember.
I think you might be right.
Basically, some psychiatrist somewhere is about to get very rich.
Now we feast.
This is... nice. Truth be told, this isn't where I imagined my journey would take me. I know what you mean.
As do I.
That's what makes journeys worth taking. You never know where you'll end up.
Oh, what's wrong? Are you cold?
Doubtless someone in Ku is gossiping about you at this very moment.
Perhaps they miss me as much as I miss them. My friends back home. I've learned much in our travels, and I hope I can use it to help my friends and nation.
I know you, Ohikari. And everyone's lives will be brighter for it.
Thank you.
Even after this journey ends, I'm going to keep on dancing around the world until I can dance no more.
Mind if I tag along? With Particio and Rock backing us, we can hop on the steam locomotive and bring smiles to every corner of the world.
That sounds amazing.
With one of those, you could save your feet for the important part, dancing. And I could extend a helping hand to places I've never even dreamt of.
Will you keep on with Air's apothecaries, Casti?
I want to resume my search for like-minded allies.
Now that's a dream I can get behind.
Yeah, me too.
I'm afraid there's one problem with this plan of yours. If you consider how many people there are in this world, then...
There's no room for logic in the realm of dreams, Professor.
Duly noted.
What'll you do, Oswald?
I have some unfinished business to conclude. There are many answers that have yet to be found.
Is that so? It's writ plain on your face. You're worried about your daughter.
There's one answer found.
And what of you, Temenos? Have you found yours?
Almost. It's like a piece of meat stuck in between my teeth.
Ugh, I know what you mean. I hate that.
So, something's still troubling you, in other words?
Precisely.
So, your days as a detective aren't over yet, then. Well, I'm here if you need an assistant. Assuming you can afford me, that is.
My goodness. You're awfully greedy for an assistant. Even if I said yes, I'm sure you have your own path in mind.
I do. I want to go somewhere far away. To a place that isn't on any map. A place no one knows about.
A place none have laid eyes upon.
You all have such big hopes and dreams. I just want to feast every day. And to keep the people of Totohaha safe, of course. Should I be aiming higher?
Ah, seems like you've got some meat stuck in your teeth.
Don't worry, Ochet. That's a fine dream.
I suppose it is. Look! A shooting star! I wonder what tomorrow will bring.
A dream.
I had an odd dream. There was a dark place, somewhere completely unfamiliar.
And a dark fire was blazing.
I saw the same thing.
Wait. Are you yanking my chain? I saw it too.
We all had the same dream. Could it be a coincidence?
I very much doubt that.
I feel as if I've seen that place somewhere before.
I slept like a baby full of milk, though. Huh. Is it still night?
Strange. dawn should be upon us soon.
We should patrol the area.
I can barely see a thing.
The stars. They're all gone. And the sky is pitch black.
Something is amiss. This is no natural nightfall.
Oh, Chet?
I felt this. It's just like before. On your guard, everyone!
Something's coming, and it isn't friendly.
It's here.
I'm getting tingles!
Yeehaw!
Okay, I missed a step ahead on him. Try to take it off everyone else. Nothing.
Here goes.
Oh well.
Fired up.
Ready?
Right! There!
Jerk.
To work. Feel the sacred heart.
Here we go!
I cannot find any of them.
What to do?
There!
Yeehaw! Take that, that, and that.
What was that?
Casty and I have seen beasts like that before.
At the time, we had no idea what they were. Their nature.
I've seen them too. The black aura resembles the one true magic wielded by Harvey. He called it the Shadow.
A shadow. What is it?
I cannot say for certain. Not now, in any case.
Mysterious monsters. Just what we need.
We know next to nothing of this phenomenon. Not even the extent of its reach.
Does this shroud cover only this forest? Or is it much larger?
Nothing for it but to check for ourselves.
On that, I agree.
Well, we need to do something.
Unfortunately, we lack the information to know just what that something is. It seems this journey has not yet reached its end. Let's get on with it, shall we? The truth lies in the flame.
Eternal night has descended upon the world. The travelers decide to set out on a final journey to find the cause. Your destination will not be shown on the radar. Search for clues and find your heading. So now where you're able to do anything you need with the party without having to go to the bar. We've been waiting a while and the sun still ain't rising. What in the world's going on? I don't know, but it's nothing good, that's for sure. If those strange monsters earlier were a product of this darkness, then we must figure out the cause of this long night, and soon. I couldn't agree more. First we search for clues. Now you're talking, so where do we start? Come on now, you must have some idea, right? Why don't we look for places like this one? What do you mean? I mean, other areas shrouded in the shadow. There are more? I can't say for sure, but it's the only heading we have. A fair point, staying still will get us nowhere. Let's start by searching for other places blanketed in darkness. Alright, looks like it's time to hit the dusty trail once again. So we're just gonna jump around looking for clues. I hope it's not in the middle of nowhere, but you never know. Start patrolling the town at night and keep an eye out for troublemakers. I want to do my part. I don't know if there'd be a scene if we go to the correct spot or not. Since there's no battles, we can venture out a little bit. Crap. It's up here. Something about the night air here in Crackers really kills my motivation.
I
Can't believe I missed this.
to work. Blizzard, bury them! This isn't good. Fear not, I will keep you from harm. How could I
Okay,
fall?
that dude packs a bit of a punch. That's probably why I didn't get him sooner. And it looks like we're restricted to our
So
night
it goes.
abilities. So let's top off... Ooh, yeah, that's not one of those fights.
I... Very well. Let's have a look.
Yeah.
Fear not, I will keep you from harm. to work. Fear not, I will keep you from harm.
Yeah, I don't think I can withstand another hit.
Where was I? Repent, say your prayer. Prepare. Mark.
Jerk. Guide with ease, that's worthless. Man who travels the world to dance, he's not concerned with popularity in the least, rather he's determined to explore the furthest reaches of his craft in the hopes of arriving at something resembling its true essence. His intense abstract dances appear to be a prayer to nature. So there's music here. So the level 51 thing tells you that this is a positive hit. There's something here. Journal fragment. I did a diary. I finally got hired as a scrivener, and for the Delsta Times, too. All the world's information flows through the newspaper. A river of facts alongside a paper water wheel. An endless procession of scoop, scoop, scoop. As a journalist, I'll dash about the world investigating, uncovering, and breaking news. What better way for me to carry out my mission? I thought about this a lot, and everyone has some fact they're hiding. Vast sums of knowledge locked in the noggins over the world over. But how to crack open these repositories and acquire those tasty secrets within? That's the rub, of course. As I am now, I doubt I'd have the dexterity to pick any of those cranial locks. I was raised in isolation, always out of the loop, hiding quietly in the outskirts of society. There's a positive way to spin that, though. I spent all the time that I wasn't talking to people, observing them. Here's what I learned. People let their guard down around cute little animals. A scowling guard captain will play cuddly coo with an adorable puppy, and soon confess all his gripes to the precious thing. And so I will become the puppy. I'll wag my little doggy tail, act the part of the friendly, non-threatening furball, and slide right into people's confidences. My brother may be the soaring eagle with his bird-eye view, but I'll be a sharp-eyed hound, keeping my nose to the ground, sniffing out every last detail I can find. So that's Ori's journal, obviously. My oldest memory is crimson. I know that guy. I kid. A spray of bright red droplets and a harrowing scream, a crowd fleeing in all directions, and enemy soldiers mercilessly cutting down innocents. Some of them even laughed as they did it. Amidst this I was a stone. Still in my tender years I neither cried nor wept nor cowered, but merely watched the chaos unfold. Being raised in a war-torn land does things to an impressionable mind. I suppose something had already broken inside me. I would have died that day, cut down like the rest, were it not for my brother. His cunning carved a path for us out of that hellish place. My brother is brilliant, so much so that the enemy king spared him if he would serve. Yet despite his genius, despite how shrewd the plans he proposed were in attempts to avoid bloodshed, the blood always flowed. Humans steal, they kill, they take and they take and they take. Lives, possessions, land, it's the state of our nature, a simple fact of our existence. My brother and I have seen so much together, and we've reached the same conclusion. The world doesn't deserve to see another dawn. The life of man is nasty, brutish, and ugly. Why not make it short? I need her on our side. I need you to convince her that's a good idea. My brother's face was flushed as he handed me the letter addressed to Rai Mei. Perhaps he'd been in his cups. I didn't need to ask him why he'd be celebrating. The fundraising in Montwise was going swimmingly. On my way home, I spotted Hikari. He's the key to everything in Ku, and if our machinations go according to plan, my brother will get what he's after. I doubt Hikari has a clue who I am. Another tactic proposed by Brother Dearest. No prior familiarity with me will help move things along down the line. But though Hikari doesn't know anything about me, I certainly know a lot about him. Hikari has another side to him. A second personality that my brother says was born from his family's cursed lineage. Somewhere in the past, Clan Ku's blood mingled with that of the infamous Archmage Darkest, sparking a history of war and sacrifice. A more odious bloodline I do not know. As I passed Hikari in the street, for a moment I felt as if our eyes met. His gaze was steady and true, just as it was when he was a boy. How had that bright spark in his eyes not dimmed over time? He had seen the same horrors I had, been through the same terrible war. If only Hikari were here, he could answer some questions, you know? Number 4. This is bad. Hikari was captured before I had the chance to deliver my brother's letter to Raimei. If Hikari is killed, it'll ruin everything, and we'll have to start over from scratch. Clan Mei calls the fortress of Stormhill its home. Coldest place in Celestia, and I hate it. Time is of the essence. Yet this frigid blizzard is battering me about like a leaf in the wind. If only I could take 2 steps without being blown 3 back. By the time I finally reached Stormhill, Hikari had already been released. I can only assume he managed to sway Raimei on his own. I handed my overdue missive to one of Raimei's retainers and quickly put that chilly place behind me. Number 5. Oswald is sentenced to life imprisonment. It took me a moment to process the judge's verdict. I blinked, doubting my ears. What was going on here? He was supposed to be executed, wasn't he? I ran as fast as I could to find Harvey. I should have known. That swine had stuffed leaves into the judge's pocket to bribe him into that decision. Why? I want him to see the power of my perfected magic. That's his reason, the blinded fool. Pride, worthless pride. We need the Book of Demons complete. What if Oswald somehow finds a way to interfere? When I gave my report to my brother, he simply said, just watch the spectacle unfold. Apparently my brother had already taken Harvey's massive ego into account when he made his contract with the man. If that's the case, then I suppose this isn't a problem after all. Regardless, I should hurry and gather what information I can about Frigid Isle. Number 7. Harvey has left for Duskruin Shrine. The remains of Archmage Darkest will provide the final piece that Harvey needs. The Book of Demons will soon be complete. I found a nice cozy place to conceal myself, and sure enough, Oswald just showed up. Just as predicted, the two fought it out, and I was able to retrieve the Book of Demons in the wake of their battle. There was one surprise, however. Harvey escaped alive. What was that bright flash of magic? A glimpse of force that may dwarf even that of the Book of Demons? That girl, does she have some special power within her? Number 6. I concealed myself among the chattering students and slipped into Harvey's lecture. The Book of Demons was nearly complete, so he was in a jovial mood. When I saw my chance, I gave Harvey the news. Oswald had tried to escape Frigid Isle and died in the attempt. I thought the news had thrown his high spirits off a cliff, but instead he just started giggling. It was creepy. When he finally settled down, he merely said, "I need to prepare for my guest's arrival," and vanished back into his laboratory, humming cheerfully all the while. It's like he thinks Oswald is alive. Is Oswald alive? It can't be, and yet, if so, then he will come here to find Harvey and seek his vengeance. Wait, this could be perfect. I doubt Harvey will honor our agreement and hand over the Book of Demons without a fuss. If I can set those two against each other, it might create the perfect opportunity to slip and swipe the book. I wonder if my brother had predicted this too. Number 8. Oswald entrusted the girl Elena to his assistant before setting off on a journey. Like Alpates, the blood of the Lumina family runs in Elena's veins. I need to continue monitoring her to watch for suspicious signs. Day after day, Elena sits at her desk and pours herself into her studies. A diligent girl, I suppose, but I am curious as to why her brow sometimes wrinkles and she cradles her head in her hands. Still, her eyes are bright and her gaze seemingly set on some happy goal far off in the distance. A marked difference from when I saw her in Harvey's company. There was only worry and fear in her eyes then. My heart nearly leapt down to my throat when I heard that assistant's voice suddenly ring out behind me. "Can I help you, miss?" I immediately turned and tried to distract and dissemble with my tried and true cover story. "Can I interest you in a newspaper subscription?" She smiled, then eyes warmed, but I sensed a keen suspicion burning deep within those friendly eyes. I will not underestimate her again. No one else has ever noticed me when I didn't want to be found. I'll need to abandon my surveillance. Too risky. Besides, I've seen nothing suspect in all the time I watched Elena. Might as well move on to more important matters. Number 9. Here I am in Candlebreen. Word is that I can find someone who has the lost pages of the Book of Knight's original manuscript. Kildina, captain of the Sacred Guard, seems to be moving as our Canet predicted in assembling those pages. There's a potential problem, however. A nosy inquisitor named Temenos seems to have caught wind of all this. Arcanet has her eye on him, but I can only pray he doesn't make any problems for us. I'll need to be careful not to draw his attention, too. The Book of Night is close to being fully restored. Once it is, I'll need to move quickly to retrieve and fulfill my mission. Allying myself with Arcanet was merely the easiest means to that end. My brother did tell me to be wary of her, however. He was quite forceful about it. I wonder why. Number 10. Kildina, captain of the Sacred Guard, is driven by a lust for vengeance. To achieve that end, she seeks to make the Book of the Power of Shadow her own. And with the restored Book of Night in hand, she set out for the Twilight Shrine. Her naive dream of avenging her people will never become reality. Why, you ask, dear diary? Because the right Arcanet taught her is purposefully flawed. So, there I was, hiding in the shadows of the Twilight Shrine, waiting for the perfect opportunity. Lo and behold, Kildina's right went over her eye, and she transformed into a most hideous form. No one told me I have to deal with some horrible monster. This is above my pay grade. Luckily, I had no need to fear. That Temenos showed up and handled the Kildina problem for me. I suppose Arcanet was behind his well-timed arrival. What a puppet master. Bravo. I finally understand why my brother warned me to keep an eye on her. I slipped down to the ritual site after Temenos made his exit and retrieved the Book of Night. All that's left is to combine it with the Book of Demons, and we'll be able to complete the Dark Blood Grimoire. Number 11. Here I am, grand old Timberane, just in time for the coronation ceremony. Word on the street is that an apothecary named Trousseau is going to rain on the parade with a storm infused with shadow energy. His goal, and I quote, is to extend a hand to save all in need. What a nice notion. Let's rewind the clock. It was 1 year ago that Trousseau lost hope in the future and started down this path. He was out gathering medicinal herbs when he stumbled into Lost Seed. There he met Claude, who gave him the Book of Night. Claude was disappointed with the encounter, it seems. He had swayed Trousseau to his side, but could persuade an apothecary in the man's company. With a regretful sigh, he told me that this other apothecary's eyes were filled with a motherly strength, deep wells of kindness that belied a sense of fierce determination. What was her name again? Yes, Cassidy. She stopped Trousseau, saw the people of Timberane to safety, and even dealt with the poison rain. As if that wasn't enough, she also managed to mix up medicine that could combat the shadow on the spot. Claude's intuition was right. Cassidy is someone to keep an eye on. My brother will need to know that we have another dangerous potential wrench in our plans. 12. I met a merchant today in Clockbank, an honest fellow with laughing eyes named Particio. He's boasted that he'll rustle up 80 billion leaves and buy the rights to the steam engine from its current owner, Mr. Roquet. Then he'll give the technology away to everyone. When pressed on why, he said, things like this should be shared with the whole world. Particio confuses me. If I can borrow that ruthless Roquet's words, it is human nature to take from others and give unto oneself. Despite his noble declarations, I am sure Particio will prove himself no different from the other slime. Greed and self-interest will win out in the end, they always do. Still, I'm vaguely curious as to how his story will play out. I'll follow this Particio, though I'll keep my expectations low. Placing your faith in others only gets you betrayed in the end. Number 15, wow. My brother made a deal with Harvey, craft the Book of Demons and evil tomes that to be imbued with the magic of Darkest himself. Why, you ask? Well, dear diary, because we needed to restore the lost Dark Blood Grimoire. The rub here is that neither my brilliant brother nor even Claude knows how to make this tome, thus the need for Harvey. The one thing my brother does know is that the remains of Darkest are a key opponent. When I shared that vital tidbit, Harvey smiled. That's all I needed. Sounds like he was already most of the way there. He's a valuable asset, so we'll do everything we can to assist him. Harvey has an unhealthy obsession with a scholar named Oswald. Now let's call it what it is, a severe inferiority complex. Harvey told me he'd gladly give up the Dawn if it meant he could beat the man. We'd let Harvey read the Book of Night in order to pull him into our intrigues, but honestly, I think it wasn't necessary. That bottomless well of envy in his gut, properly maintained, would likely have been motivation enough. Besides, I don't trust him. No normal person can fathom that twisted mind of his. 14. Particio's gone and done it. He has gone. And done it. He's humbled Roquet and actually wrested the rights to the steam engine from that greedy tycoon. Still, that's nothing compared to what he did next. He actually gave it away, just like he said he would. Things like this should be shared with the whole world. He's lived up to that grandiose statement, and then some. The heat of his passion even melted Roquet's icy heart, and I didn't think the desert sun was hot enough to do that. So, taking a step back, what Particio did is impossible, unimaginable, inconceivable. I've observed countless people in my time, and to date, every one of them is motivated to varying degrees by self-interest. People are always willing to step on others to achieve their own interests, but Particio? Is he truly different? Is he someone who can at last transform this dark and ugly world into something wonderful? What do you think, brother? 16. Welcome to my humble castle. That was how he greeted me when I arrived in Lost Sea before he took me on a casual stroll through that rotting mausoleum of a town. I struggled not to gag on the stench of death and decay, all the while him smiling and breathing deep as if taking in the airs of a tranquil meadow. This ghastly man's name is Claude, and he is the descendant of the infamous Archmage Darkest. It is said that his notorious grandfather gave him a taste of the blood of the malevolent god of darkness, Vide, frighteningly enough, while he was still in the womb. As a result, the man is blessed with eternal youth. With the blood of Darkest and Vide within his veins, Claude's fate was to become the Dark God's vessel, and yet he rejected this destiny and instead chose to pass that honor on to his offspring. For our part, we don't care who the vessel is, just that we have one. Claude, however, seems to have preferences in the matter. Preferences, fa. The man sired countless children with countless women and has set his progeny at each other's throats. To the bloody victor goes the ultimate spoils. I shivered as he looked me up and down, his eyes seeming to pierce my very soul. It was as if he was seeking to plant a murderous seed inside me, too. When he handed me the dark blood staff, he told me that the woman who stole it for him has a lot of potential. His words. My purpose in Lost Seed fulfilled, I hurried out of there. I can't wait to hand the staff over to our Canette and let her handle the cathedral's sacred flame. I need to get a drink. Okay. 17. Dear Diary, today I met with Petrichor, the woman known as the Dark Hunter. I introduced her to Professor Harvey several years ago at Arcanette's request. She was talkative today and had this to say. I met Arcanette when I was young, and it was then that I swore myself to her service. Ever since I have hunted for her and her alone, even slain the legendary monster known as the Guardian of the First Flame at her behest. Sometimes I hunted people too, like the time I came to possess the Dark Blood Bow. Once again, my lady has use of me, and so I shall gladly obey. I nodded along, and when she was finished, she showed me a monster. This beast, which she had captured on Totohaha, looked out at me with eyes filled with loathing for all that had walked on this earth. I asked her what it was, and she told me the result of years of brutal conditioning and a healthy dose of Harvey's science for good measure. The result, an abomination crafted through repeated horrifying experiments. I nodded again. A soul this steeped in despair would surely prove to be a great source of power. Seems that leaving the flame of Totohaha in her care should prove no issue. So, the monster they're referring to is the bird, I can't remember its name right now, that you could get with, oh shit. So, out of curiosity, yeah, we're missing 13 and 14. Or no, the 14's right there. Still missing, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, no 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. It's possible that one over there is 13, I just want to double check and make sure I didn't miss anything back here in case that triggers a boss fight or something. Let's see if it's lucky number 13. Yep. I can't believe it. How did Partitio turn that economic desert of a town into a hopping commercial hub? That business idea of his was inspired. I must admit that watching Allron's department store come to life woke something warm inside me. I had told Partitio that the world's filled with people growing under the weight of 1,000 problems. It's fresh ideas like this that bring a ray of joy into troubled lives. For once, I really truly meant what I said. I should never have poured my heart out in public like that. I suppose my declaration was proof that he's cracked my emotional defenses and convinced me to believe in him. In my defense, he's really something else. Before I knew it, I was promising to help. Truth is, I'm excited to see what magic he'll pull out of his Partitio hat next. Guess what, dear diary? This is the first time I've ever helped someone for something that wasn't directly related to my mission. Let me stop for a moment and also appreciate the fact that he convinced the Allrond to invest 80 billion leaves in him. 80 billion. The question is, will Partitio prove to be a man of integrity? Will he really use those leaves to help the world and not just line his own pockets? Just a little bit longer. Only a bit, mind. I find myself needing to see what he does next. A statue of Bifligan the traitor. There are words carved around the base. O inheritors of our will, let the mirror shine and kindle a fire in your heart to chase away the darkness. Okay, raced back. Oswald for Rochette. Mirror reflects the memories of the sacred flame.
Now what have we got here? A sacred flame? Here of all places? Have I stumbled upon a scoop once again? Why, I believe I have. I'm glad that's done. There's no need to keep up this cloying facade. To wear the mask of a chipper, unflappable scrivener. No. Now I bring an end to this dark, wretched world. To liberate its people from their pain, their suffering, and their hatred. Just like I swore to you, brother. Together, we will usher in the night. I kept a close eye on the travelers, all while my allies and I worked behind the scenes. Until at last, I found the book I sought. The Dark Blood Grimoire. With it, I will smother the sacred flames, that they will never again light the way for the dawn. I offer this gift of blood. May the flames turn cold and dark. Mortals. Gods. Who was it that drew the line between them? The blessed? The accursed? Us? Them? Particio. Would that we had never met. I'm sorry.
The first sacred flame burns anew. Ori? I heard from an apothecary in town. A woman was found collapsed near the sacred flame and brought there for treatment. She had brown hair and wore a cap much like a scrivener. After she regained consciousness, she simply vanished. That's Ori. It's gotta be. But if that's true, then what saved her? It appears her wounds fell just short of being fatal. She must have changed her mind just in the nick of time. She saw the worth in walking towards the dawn. Well, I can hazard a guess as why she hesitated. I believe it was thoughts of you that saved her life. Me? Now don't be ridiculous, like I'd have anything to do with that. Well, no matter, as long as she's alive, all's well. But just where did she wander off to? Sure, I'm lucky that you're around to cheer me up, eh? Our journey isn't over. We'd do well not to waste time in idle conversation. But if you must talk, then perhaps a different topic of conversation would suffice. Oswald? Thank you kindly. Okay, so we can see that one's level 51 now. I don't know if there's going to be any bosses. We can see one of the flames just reignited. You'll see it when you get to the load screen again. Was I going the right way? I remember how I got there. Does this turn right? Oh, right there. So are there going to be more journal entries, or is that only for Ori since she's the writer? Can't go up those. It's a little hard to see here, and that's annoying. Yeah, maybe there wasn't anything to be had here. Seal Teach, Lady of Grace. And this one should be Hikari, the warrior. Or Brand, the Thunderblade, but the warrior, yes.
It was hope that drove me to live, to survive. Drove me away from death's clutches, to guide others along the same path. But hope was a mistake. There is nothing worth living for, nothing in this cruel, unsightly world. There is no dawn worth waiting for. What would you give to see the morrow, Lord Ageha?
Kazan. Why did you betray us? You lifted up Lord Mugen to the throne, then you tore him down from it.
An eagle must hide his talons. It was the only way to catch my true quarry. The Dark Blood Blade. The sacred treasure of Clan Ku. Not an easy thing to steal. Not so long as Mugen stood in my way. So I cut him down with Hikari's sword.
You? What are you?
For years I have hidden my intentions from Ku. My very name. But now you shall know it. Oboro. All I did to prevent the tide of darkness that waits on the morrow from reaching us. Within this blade slumbers the power of the shadow. The power to quench the flames. However, such a feat cannot be accomplished without a sacrifice. The accursed blood of Darkest. If not for its taint, we may have seen a desert free from the stain of crimson. And now, I end this. Hikari. Goodbye, old friend. This world's end calls to me. Soon, you shall have the world you envisioned. A world without bloodshed. For oblivion shall bring peace.
So now we have the second flame. Kazan. Mugen's rebellion, the razing of the city. Even my ascent to the throne. Were they all just more of your plots? Were we all playing into your hands? How many of my friends died because of you? Hikari? Ever since I was a child, I spoke with him about the future I envisioned. A future without bloodshed. Were our ideals so different? Why did he do this? He aims to bring an end to the world. We have to stop him, together. We will. We'll lead everyone toward the dawn. Okay, time to kick them out of the party. That one's last. Trying to eat a little during their memories, but they don't quite last long enough. So yeah, 2 of the flames are back. And they actually do correspond to the cardinal direction, so to speak. So we did the southwest one, now the southwest flame is lit. Now we're going to do the southeast, and we'll finish with the northeast. I'm going to drop a save here. So this one actually has a marker. Okay, this is different.
Ready when you are.
Forgot to take that off too, because I just lost my blind.
Warmed up.
Well, actually, it doesn't get to keep it. It looks like grotesque monster.
Ready?
There! Very well.
Here we go! Come on then!
Yeehaw!
Cleaning time.
Very well. Holy light, illuminate the darkness.
My prey awaits.
That was axe.
I'm just getting warmed up.
Okay, that other weakness is axe also.
Bring it on.
Ready?
Let's go! Come on then!
To work.
Yeah, we can go ahead and just fire off our radiance.
Feel the sacred smoke.
Right.
My turn. Playtime's over. Aber, Prince of Diplomacy.
Bring it on. Take that.
Repent.
Little overkill. Okay, they can kill people here. I'll just spawn more of those suckers.
Bring it on. Take this.
Not bad.
Short.
You're too kind.
Here we go. Wahoo!
This isn't good. Feel the sacred. Very good.
You bore me.
Repent. Elphic, purge these visions. That's how it's done. Fighting is not what I do.
Black bow. Chance of insta-kill. Yeah, the power's just not there. Okay, that's the hunter. The other one is the dance. No. The apothecary. So this is where we're going to learn about Trousseau, I assume.
This world is naught but hunters and their prey. Just as Cataracta fell to my bow, just as Glacius's egg shattered before my might. The Dark Hunter sets forth once again, and my aim will not falter. Under the gaze of the Scarlet Moon, I shall fulfill the Great Wish. You must be quivering with joy, for your time has come at last. 10 years ago, I scooped you up, let you live. It was all for this moment. The darkness in our hearts is fed by anger, hatred, resentment, and jealousy. Our basest instincts. As that darkness grows deeper, so too does the shadow grow powerful. Few can stand against a beast whose heart has been drowned in darkness. A beast such as you. Long have I waited for the darkness within you to become black as night. So that maddening flame could be smothered forevermore. With my lifeblood, I shall call down the night. Now then. Make of my flesh an offering. and banish all that stands to oppose us. Give meaning to your miserable life. Ah, Arcanet.
Plus. So that was the first flame, huh? Have you heard of it before? Yeah, it came to life inside me. It was comforting and warm. It was then that I decided I wanted to protect the island. I always felt he had a heart warmer than most. Now I think I'm ready to take on something even bigger. I'm ready to protect the whole world. That's what a hunter should do, after all. I feel the same way as you do. I want to extend a helping hand to everyone in need during this endless night. You're an apothecary one can count on. Then let's do it together. Let's keep everyone safe. Gladly, Oshette. I'm honored to have you by my side. Now to get her out of the party. I don't think it's Mount Liffey, I think it's the church itself.
It's quiet. Too quiet.
But this smell, it's the scent of humans. They're frightened, hiding.
Someone's coming.
Mint!
Is that you, Temenos? Out for a stroll in a place like this? You always did have the habit of sticking your nose in places it doesn't belong.
A friend of yours, Temenos?
In a manner of speaking, but something's odd.
You failed to see what was in front of you. The shadow is ever by thy side.
Just what are you? This is an inquisition. Refuse to answer and...
Attempting to conquer others with threats of violence will always fail. Those who are subdued by strength cannot help but rebel. To conquer them, truly conquer them, you must subjugate their hearts and minds. Hearken to the shadows in their hearts.
What are you talking about?
People are desperate for a place to belong. Give it to them, and they cannot bear to live anywhere else. And then, their hearts and minds are yours.
Their hearts and minds?
Humans are foolish by their very nature. Centuries pass, and yet they remain the same.
Bold words for someone so young.
Surrender yourself not unto silent dusk, for the light shall fade, and soon night shall fall.
The teachings of the Moonshade Order. No, it can't be.
Since you are so dogged in your search for the truth, allow me to help you. My true name is Arcanet, and I am the leader of the Moonshade Order. The same order that slaughtered the Call. All so that I could steal the flame.
That's impossible. The massacre of the Call was decades ago, and the Moonshade Order's origins are older still.
It's not impossible. There are old souls out there that hide behind youthful faces.
Thanks to Caldina's efforts, the Book of Night is now in my possession. That girl was so eager to be a puppet. She didn't realize the strings were held by her sworn enemy.
The Pontiff knew who you were. He was going to tell me, but his life was cut short.
I had hoped you would be more stricken. How dull. Such has ever been your nature. Your face always a placid mask. But I suppose it matters not. This world's end draws nigh.
That staff.
Once, long ago, night was invited into the world. But a loathsome few drove it away. Those events will not repeat themselves again.
You stole the futures of untold innocence.
Did I? Then you should thank me. This world is cruel, monstrous, with not a single mote of joy to be found amongst the misery. Don't you see? Roy, Pontiff Jorg. Yes, and even Crick. They knew. They knew the beauty of a dawn that would never come.
Quiet. I won't allow you to sully their names with such blasphemy. You will answer for your sins, Arcanet. And I'll ensure the world they hoped for comes to pass.
At last, Temenos' mask falls off.
I'm the hunter, you're the prey.
So I was planning to stay at the inn so I could, replenish my stuff.
Let's get to work.
Oh boy.
Here goes.
What to do?
Where was I? You won't find me.
Let's go. Huh.
Oh dear.
What to do?
But I won't hold back. Aver, Prince of
Okay, I did not expect them to get one shot.
My prey awaits.
I haven't tried axe yet, have I? attack up.
Here goes.
Where was I?
Yeah, I really don't care.
Listen. Very good.
Bravo, Temenos. Thanks.
Let's go. Go on then.
Oh dear. Repent.
Yeehaw!
Give up.
To work.
Wrong.
My turn.
Well, I do have an axe.
Right.
Here goes.
Oh dear.
Let's go.
My turn. Thanks.
Refreshing jam. I don't know which one that one is offhand. What's
Here goes.
the cheap one?
Take this.
Cleaning time.
Oh dear. This ends now, Mint.
Great stuff, Temenos.
Yeehaw!
Just want to double check.
Yeehaw! Let's do it. Take that.
What to do? You're open.
Oh dear.
You won't.
Let's. I'm starving. That's my cobra. I'm hungry.
More jam.
And so we arrive at this moment. Are you truly so desperate to see the dawn? I see now that the Pontiff was not the true threat. It was you, Temenos. You, a dagger sharpened to a razor's edge. Claude's masterwork. I can see it. A collar around that thin neck of yours.
A collar?
You will never be free. Even if I fall here, nothing will end. And there, always near. Soon, night shall fall.
Farewell, Mint. Your days of meddling are over.
Soon night shall fall. From the looks of it, it already has.
If this isn't night, then
think I need to stay at the inn. I think we're going to power forward. So it's time to return to where we began this playthrough at in video number 1. Wish I could say this was all calculated, but I clearly didn't know what was going on for a lot of the stuff in the game. Should also point out that was the only rival that actually acknowledged both of the pair. Like Kazan only was interested in Hikari. He had no interest in Agnia. Oshet's one had no interest in Casti, I think her partner was. And then Partitio's had no interest in Oswald, but that's because Oswald sucks. So Tanzi's journal. Did you write this? Odiner asked. I immediately ripped the book out of his grasp, and he shrank back a little, surprised at my strength. I couldn't believe that he, of all people, had suddenly gotten his hands on my hidden script. Odiner had been acting from a young age and was already doing quite well for himself, I, too, had longed for the stage since I was a child, but ended up working at my parents' candle shop instead. Even so, I hadn't been able to give up on writing, and it became my secret pastime. I hadn't shown my scripts to anyone, though, afraid that their response would just confirm just how talentless I was. I screwed my eyes shut in embarrassment, preparing myself for his ridicule of my skilly script, but... Would you mind if I performed this, he asked. I let out a strange gasp, completely caught off guard. It'd be a shame not to. Why don't we show it off at the next Festival of Grace? Though taken aback by the proposal, I was overjoyed to know that someone appreciated my writing. I nodded in agreement and decided to make it a performance to remember. Despite it being Odiner's idea, I decided that I was even more excited than he was. I was even beginning composing musical scores for the show. I love you, Mary. Those words caused my heart to race and my hands to harp on the harp knot to stop. What's wrong? Odiner asked as he peered into my face with concern. I realized that he no longer looked like the young brat who had tormented me with insects in our youth. Still, I knew that the words he spoke were not his own. I had been the one to write them, after all. Half a month before the Festival of Grace, his performance was all but perfect. I couldn't help but wonder when he found the time to practice after his normal work was through. I, on the other hand, was struggling to think of a fitting ending to the script and worked late into the night. Unable to ignore my struggles, Odiner pulled me away from my desk and whisked me away into town late at night. The gods are all ours now, he told me as we snuck into an empty church. Not long after, I was struck by inspiration. Perhaps by the grace of the sacred flame. Odiner watched quietly as word upon word flowed from the tip of my pen. By the time I was finished, dawn was breaking. As Odiner read my script, his face was more serious than ever, and my heart pounded in my chest, though not out of nervousness. Once he finished, he softly smiled. Will you marry me? He asked, and I let out another strange gasp. Had I written that line? No. This time those words were Odiner's own. His proposals always had a way of bringing me unrivaled joy. My heart warmed at the sight of his smile and thought of performing the script we had written together. How I wished that happiness would last us a lifetime. Alas, I watched as the clerics carried his casket and sobs filled the air around me. I laid him to rest with our script and his beloved yellow flowers. No, I thought to myself, this wasn't the ending I envisioned. The day after finishing the script, I woke up to find my love cold beside me. According to the apothecary, Odiner's heart had failed him. I wondered if work was to blame. Why hadn't I noticed? I killed him. I pushed him too hard. It was all my fault. All my fault. Unable to bear the guilt, I pushed his death from my mind and carried on as usual. But whenever I remembered my beloved, I clenched my jaw so hard I thought my teeth would break. One day I found myself in front of a church, the same place Odiner and I swore our love to each other, and a single cleric came to speak with me. Sadness is something that builds up inside us. Holding it all in will do nothing but destroy you, she told me. Please let it out. You don't need to endure it any longer. Moved by her warmth, I spoke of everything that I had buried deep inside of me. She listened to every word and at the end embraced me gently. All of my guilt and sadness were washed away by her kindness. Then one day, my feelings for Odiner disappeared, and all that was left was her. One day I saw her with another woman and feared that she would leave me. Knowing I had to secure my place in her world, I told her that I would do whatever she asked of me. She smiled gently in response and said, I want you to be the blue flames, wherever they may be in the world. I left on my journey soon after. My parents cried and tried to stop me, but I pushed them away. Unfortunately, I barely knew the area outside of my own home, let alone the whole world. Not long after, I met him with a traveling troupe. They claimed to be bringing smiles to every corner of the realm, so I joined them and the search began. That's how I found it. The blue flame she was looking for. It was on an isle at the edge of the world. I can only imagine how pleased she'd be. I was sure she would let me stay at her side. Oh, how I adore Sister Mint. I love you, Tansy, she said. Her warm voice and words reverberated in my head. She then handed me an old tome called the Book of the Night, and recommended that I read it, so I did right then and there. It was a story of a people who did not long to see the dawn. I never read such an incredible tale before. As I looked up from its pages, she smiled at me. I realized that there was no greater happiness to be had than reading a wonderful book and seeing Sister Mint's smile In my mind, no brighter dawn awaited. Yes, I have no need for the dawn. It can all end here and now. So you can see Elfric and, crud, what's your name? Eivor.
Ah. Wake up, Tansy. Night has come. Wake up, Tansy. Night has come.
Sister Mint? Oh, I fell asleep without realizing it.
Do not worry. You must have been quite tired. You traveled far to see my wish granted.
Sister Mint, I mean, Goddess. I would do anything if it brought me closer to you.
Your devotion is moving. You have gone far beyond my every expectation, and must be rewarded.
Rewarded?
I love you, Tansy.
Huh? It's so dark. Where am I? What? My body?
Pathetic child, oblivious until the very end. But this is what you wanted, is it not? It's not as if you desired to see the dawn. The sacred flames have been snuffed out. Surrender yourself not unto silent dusk, for the light shall fade. And soon the world shall know the joy of a dawn that never comes. All who stand in my way shall be cast aside. I shall root out the travelers and bury that wretched mirror beneath the earth, that it may never enkindle the flames again.
So it's pointing southwest.